So again, there we go. All right. Welcome everybody to the 2025 Spring Unit sponsored fundraiser kickoff. Joining you tonight is Michael Farr, who works for the Scouting America New Hampshire, and then myself, who I'm just a volunteer, do a lot of random things, and I got scouting in my blood and everything else, so love it a lot. Um, There we go. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the maple syrup and pancake mix sale first. This sale actually works best as a take-only sale. There are some order sheets that you're going to be able to download from the council website, and I'll show you where you can find those here shortly. But that is the best way to have the sale. It's a by having it being a take order sale only, means that there's no risk to the unit. And there's also no risk to the council with respect to any unsold product. So basically, we only order what is sold. So again, it makes it a real low risk fundraiser for units as well as for the council. There is an opportunity though, for those units who want to take on a little bit of risk. You by all means you can take on what we call a speculative order. And in that particular case, the unit is going to assume all the risk, uh, um, which means that no product can be returned. The sale dates for the sale starts February 1st. We tried to get a lot of the information up on the website. So if you go to the council website, you should be able to find everything up there right now. But it's basically from February 1st until April 30th. The products haven't changed. It's nice and simple. It's what people seem to like and want. We did get an ask last year, earlier this past year rather, to see if we could introduce gluten-free pancake mix. I did look into it, and at one point I thought I had gluten-free pancake mix from Polly's. However, I was informed that we would not be able to do that. I did look at some alternatives in terms of gluten-free product. The closest thing I could get was King Arthur. They sell a gluten-free product, and I was going to reach out to them. And then when I was doing some research, I basically found where you can buy the gluten-free pancake mix from King Arthur at Target for like $5.99. So for us to be then trying to sell it for $15, I felt like it would be a hard thing to try to do. So by keeping it with Polly's and also with Fuller's, who have been supportive of us for the last 5, 6 years, it really kind of makes it a little bit more unique and harder to get. In terms of the pricing, there is no price increase in terms of the recommended sale price. We're keeping the sale prices at $16 for the pint, $30 for the quart, $15 for pancake mix, $6 for the six-piece maple candy, and $7 for the maple sugar. In terms of what does the unit receive, the margins did go down a little bit for the unit. There was a cost increase, but again, based on all the pressures that we've seen out there in the past year, I don't know about you, but I just bought 18 eggs. It cost me $9 for those 18 eggs. So, with all the price pressures that we all are seeing and faced with right now, we made the decision to keep the recommended selling price where they are. And as you can see, the margins that you receive did go down as a result of that. So for a pint, if you sell one pint, you'll get $7.15. Quarts $14.95. Pancake mix, you earn $6, and then $2.75 for either maple candy or for the maple sugar. Now, in terms of ways to sell the product, you can take the product on a speculative basis, which is, we talked about that earlier, that, basically you can do a show and sell. And that would be very similar to how you run your popcorn fundraisers if that is something that you participate in. You promote it on social media. A couple years ago, we had one scout who basically promoted it on social media and filled 2 full sheets of orders just by promoting it on social media. We are offering again on our council website. We do have an online ordering store that is there as well. I'm going to click on the link. So if you were to provide the link, which you can have, it's online. Your customer this is what the customer is going to see. Their name and everything else, and then they would go in and they would fill in. Hey, you know what? I want to take a pint, and I want 6 of those, and they'll be able to scroll down and get the 6 and everything. Hopefully, you guys are you seeing that screen or are you not seeing the screen? Give me a thumbs
We
up.
can see it. Can you throw a link in the chat?
Uh, yep. Actually, I'm gonna give you all that. Yeah, yeah. Actually, what I'll do here, let me do this for you real quick. Chat, paste. All right. So there's the link for the online store. Um, the other thing, again, speculative order, some people say, what is a speculative order? Directionally speaking, basically the unit does not have a confirmed customer. You don't know who your customer is yet. So you're just going out there and you're just going to go out and sell that product and get the support, and you're going to find that customer to buy the product that you have now procured yourself. If a unit does take a product on a speculative basis, unfortunately, you cannot return what you end up buying. So it does work very well. This sale, again, it works best as a take order sale and everything else. When can you order the product? You can actually order it at any time, actually, because I will be bringing in some product for to be able to fill some orders. But your option is February 10th, which is this upcoming Monday, would be our first order date in terms of where I'm going to then turn around and place an order with Fuller's for the pancake mix and also with the syrup. In the leader's guide, and the leader's guide you'll be able to find on the council website, and I'll bring you to the council website here in a minute. But there is a barcode in the leader's guide. So again, this is something here that you can go in there and give this to your aunt, uncle. They can scan this or something like that, and they can order the product. Now, the way the online store works is going to be very consistent with how it was done in past years. What that means is that we will gather those orders, and any product that is sold by your unit will be delivered to your unit. So the scout who sold the product is responsible for delivery. I do not recommend, as much as Aunt Mary out in California would love to be able to buy some maple syrup and pancake mix. What I'm going to tell you, it's very expensive to ship. So if she wants to do it, great. If she's willing to pay for the shipping, but shipping is not included in the online store. There's a couple of different ways that you can sell also. So like if you don't want to use the online store that we've created, you can actually go and create your own online store. There's two apps that are currently out there. One is Cheddar Up, which the link will be it's in the leader's guide, which you can go in and and set up your own account. I saw Troop 19 is on this call, and I know Jerry. I can't think of Jerry's last name. But Jerry is one who's really big on Cheddar Up. His unit uses, I believe, Cheddar Up with respect to their reef sales and also when they sell their maple syrup as well. The other one is through SquareUp, is another online platform that you guys could also use as well. Again, these are things that if you want to take it on in terms of your respective unit and have your own store versus relying on the store that we've created, by all means, you can certainly do that. You would just gather those orders and whatever you sell on your own online store platform, you would then place that order with us in order to fill those orders on your behalf. Fundraising. So the council website is right. Again, this is the council website. Yep, as you can see, tomorrow the Member Care Center is going to be closed tomorrow. I will put this link in the chat as well for you guys. There we go. Put that in there. That will bring you to this specific page here, which is fundraising here. If you normally go to the normal landing page for the council, you're going to go to resources, and then you're going to go to funding for scouts and units, and that's where you're going to find this. And they'll bring you to this page here. And you can see on this link here, you're going to see where you got the scout card, you got the maple syrup, country meats, the hikeathon, which is something that we run in the fall, and then obviously the popcorn. So here in this particular case, I'm going to click on the maple syrup and pancake mix fundraiser. And then when I click on that, you're going to see here different information that you're going to see. So submit unit order form. So like when it's time for you to submit your order in terms of what your youth have sold, you're going to come to this web page. You're going to click on submit order form, and then the unit, district. I'll use AJ as an example. AJ, you're in Wanalancet. So you can scroll down and you say Wanalancet, what unit type? I'm a pack. I hope you don't mind, and everything. And then unit coordinator, whoever your respective unit coordinator is. In this case, it's going to be John Doe. You'd fill that out, whatever the email address. I'll use my personal one. That's fine. I have no problems. And then phone number. And then you're basically going to say, okay, my kids, they ended up selling, 45 pints. They sold 11 quarts. Whatever the quantities are, this is where you're going to accumulate the orders that you've received from your respective scouts, youth, in terms of what they sold. And then once you do that, you'd hit submit. We'll get that as an order to then fill. Okay, that's how that would work. Timeline in terms of some important dates to think about or to remember. Again, the sale starts February 1st. It runs until April 30th. Some other key dates or order dates that I want you to keep in mind. February 10th would be the first opportunity for you to order any speculative type of product. The first take order would be where you've now taken the order sheets from your scouts. You've added up what they've sold, and now you want that order filled at that point in time. The second and the final take order date is going to be April 30th. Orders pick up. Basically, what's going to happen is as soon as the product comes in, I will communicate with each respective individual, and then we will arrange a pickup. In some cases, the pickup's going to be at the member care center. In some cases, I might happen to be driving through Concord and say I can meet you in Concord at the Market Basket. And you're going to say, which Market Basket? There's two of them. The one over by Lowe's is where I'll meet you by. Pickup location. If for some reason we can't connect, and you can't get to member care center, then we can arrange to have you come and pick it up at the Camp Carpenter Dining Hall. Now, the one thing, and this is very consistent, I just want to make sure everybody knows this, and this is not a change, all right, just so everybody knows, but payment is going to be due upon delivery of the product. So when you come and get the product, then you're also going to need to pay for that product at that point in time. That's not a change, but I just want to reemphasize that point. We've already, how do I place my unit order? I've already kind of talked to you about that. Again, it's going to bring you, you go to the council website, you click submit unit order, and again, it will bring you to this page here where you would fill in your relevant information. Product pickup, again, product can be ordered at any point in time. I have a really good relationship with Fuller's and everything else. I do like to try to get some decent size orders. So if you're going to say, look, I want 5 or 6 here and there, and I don't have the product available, just know I'll communicate with you and say, listen, I don't have enough right now. I'm just can you please just wait a little bit for me to get more orders in order to do that. When do I have to pay? Again, we've already covered that. Payment for the product is due at the time the product is picked up. Unfortunately, we just can't make any exceptions. Just make sure that your treasurer is aware of it. Whoever's picking it up, make sure that they have the check from the treasurer to be able to pay for the order. Is there a leader's guide? Absolutely, there's a leader's guide. Same thing if you go back to the council website. All right, and then you see right here where it says Sales Leader's Guide right there. Click on that, and you'll see a complete Leader's Guide that is currently in here. The Leader's Guide is going to have the links that you're going to want in here. So you're going to see it talks about the different products. It talks about the margins that are in here, the unit ordering times, right? It's going to have the links for the unit placing the order. So it's going to have what you're going to need in the leader's guide in order for you to be able to hold your sale. There's that QR code that I was mentioning to you earlier tonight, and everything else. If you do have any kinds of questions, there is an email address in here where you can. It's right here, mapleleaf@newhampshirescouting.org. When you send that email, it does not go into a black hole. There's two people that actually receive that email. One is myself, and the other is Michael Farr. High probability you will, if provided I'm available, you will most likely hear from me. I will tell you that there's going to be a period of 3 weeks where I will not be available. So Michael will be my fill-in during that point in time. I'm going on a little bit of a pilgrimage hike. Going to hike 200 miles. So I'm going to be gone for a few weeks. So Michael's going to kind of be my liaison, but I can be in touch with Michael and answer any questions that may come up or pop up. Um, let's see. Again, who do I contact? mapleleaf@newhampshirescouting.org. Now, with that, I am going to actually turn this over to Michael. And Michael, you are going to talk about Scout Card. So go ahead. You have control.
All right. Thank you, John. And again, thank you everybody for being here this evening. I don't know if everybody can hear me and see me. And oh, there we go. I was going to say I'm not able to forward this for some reason, but it's working now. So this is going to be the 2025 Scout Card portion of the presentation. And just in case anybody's wondering, there is going to be time for questions and answers about both fundraising opportunities at the end of this presentation. So please, if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask them. That's what we're here for. We want to make sure that you have a good understanding, working knowledge of both campaigns. We want our folks out there to be able to maximize their benefit this year. So welcome to the 2025 Scout Card campaign. This, of course, is a last year's card. We've not gotten the proof in time for this presentation, so I apologize. What are Scout cards, and why should Scouts sell them? So if you remember from last year and years past, we were referred to as camp cards. They are the exact same thing. We're just calling them Scout cards. And for one major reason, we literally had units come out and say, well, we don't send our kids to summer camp, so we're not going to sell them. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry you don't send your kids to summer camp. That's a shame. But you can still use the funds for other Scout activities. So it created a little bit of confusion, and a lot of councils across the country are seeing the same thing. So we're starting to see that change all over. And I think it's a clearer message. So whether it be a high adventure or summer camp, or your unit wants to do a unit activity and they want to go whitewater rafting, or they want to go, to Clark's Trading Post or whatever, any kind of Scout related activity can be covered by these camp card, these Scout cards. And then it kind of answers the same question: why should your Scouts sell them? It helps them to literally fund their own adventure. And when we get into a little bit more of the details about the Scout cards, you'll see why. So the Scout cards offer an amazing opportunity to fund their own scouting adventure. So that it's just what it is. Like I said, anything scouting related activity can be covered by the funds of these cards. Multiple discounts from local businesses. And new last year in 2024, we added the nationwide online offers. And this offers tens of thousands of available offers that can be used online um, across the country. I think we found out that it's just over 500,000 offers that can be accessed just about with any zip code in the country. It's just an amazing opportunity. So it turns more of a regional scout card into a national scout card. So if we have grandma and grandpa, out in Kansas that want to support, we can send them the code on the back of the card, or we can send them the whole card. This is much easier to send out to a loved one than a bottle of maple syrup is. So, um, don't be afraid to use that as an option. Um, how the card saves people money is it's very simply from local businesses. We talked about the two different types. So this is the local businesses. There are four different tear off one-time use offers or discounts. Now I will tell you, we have one particular vendor on the card over the past couple of years that have said, just keep the little coupon tab and reuse it. Um, it's phenomenal that they're willing to do that, and their offer this year is again $10 off a $40 food purchase. So it's pretty exciting. Um, and then eight reoccurring offers on the back of the card. This year we have offers from again Fisher Cats. We have Chuck E. Cheese in the mix. We have Sub Zero. We have Tire Warehouse. We have a mechanic shop in there. So there's a couple of good things in there for reoccurring. Um, Dave and Buster's, Shaw's, Buffalo Wild Wings, and margaritas um, all came back. So that's phenomenal as well. And then the online coupon center, you have up to 25 physical offers and then unlimited online offers. So those 25 physical offers, what that is Joe's Pizza up in Milton is offering buy one, get one free. And you go online, type in the code that's on the back of your card, and you can actually print that coupon and bring it into Joe's Pizza. And then you can use those 25 times, or, one of those physical offers 25 times, throughout the year. And then unlimited online offers. So if you wanted to do business with a retailer online that offers a discount, there's an unlimited amount of times that you can use that discount, through that retailer or any other retailer that offers the discounts, electronically. Um, Oh, we went the wrong way here. Sorry, folks. All right. Um, how will selling scout cards help our units? It's pretty simple. The uh, the scout cards are um, a great way to raise a substantial amount of money in a short amount of time. So um, you have a 70% profit on these cards to the unit. How the unit decides to um, disperse that to the scouts is completely up to the unit. If they want to keep it in one big pool and want to, do just unit activities or put it towards a unit pool for camp or whatever they want to do. It's completely up to the unit. Some units will allow scouts to have the money dog-eared for them for their camp or for their scouting activities. So it's really depends on the unit. But like I said, 70% goes to the unit as a take for the cards. Um, so scout cards are purchased by scouting units, pack, troop, crew, post, ship in bundles of 20 cards. And what that is, John, I'm not sure if I lost control here yet. Oh, there we
I'll,
go.
I'll help you.
Uh, Unit distributes the cards to their scouts and need to track what is handed out to each scout. and scouts sell the cards and turn all monies into the unit. So this is how that program works at the unit level. Individual families are not allowed to, order these cards. Um, they need to be ordered by a unit leader. Um, we have a suggested selling price with flexibility. What that means is in years past on these cards, there's been a hard printed number on the front of the card. Last year, we started to remove that from the card, giving the unit the ability to have flexibility in their pricing. So we're offering or we're suggesting a $10 retail value. If somebody is willing to make a $20 donation for a scout card, we're obviously not going to turn it away. And on the other hand, if the unit purchases some scout cards and still has some left over, halfway through the year, they have the ability to lower the amount that they're willing to take per card to help move them along a little bit. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen sometimes. So we give you that flexibility to work with. But this is the breakdown if you were to use the suggested selling price of $10. So the cost of the card is $3 to the unit. And that covers everything. That covers that coupon code on the back, everything. And so if you're selling the card at $10 a piece, you're making $7 per card. So that, again, a 70% profit back to the unit. And you're going to see this percentage, very similar in a lot of the fundraisers out there, where, the council is just not taking large amounts or percentages of what the units are raising in council sponsored fundraisers. So it's important to understand that the units on a fundraiser like this, on a fundraiser like the maple syrup, popcorn, meat sticks, the units are taking without a doubt the lion's share of what's being raised after the cost of product. No other council is coming close to us on a lot of these fundraiser profits. Um, how do we order the scout cards? It's very simple. The job form, maybe John can throw this into the chat as well. It's a very simple order form. You're going to just click
Right.
on it, fill out the information, and it's going to ask you, thank you, John. It's going to ask you a couple of different questions. We want to scroll down just a tiny little bit on that form. Um, it's going to ask you um, what your unit information, your contact information. Is going to ask you how many cards you're looking for. It's also going to ask you how you're going to pay. We are accepting cash, check, and credit card at member care, but it's important to understand that with the credit card processing, there is a 3% fee on all credit card processing across the board. I think it's just about everywhere in the country. We are not the only people that have to do it. It's a cost that we get charged for taking a credit card. Um, and um, and then once that order form has been filled out, a ticket is automatically generated, and us at the member care center go through and pick the cards and put them together, and they're ready for you to come pick them up, usually within 24 hours. And that's 24 business hours. So if we're placing an order on Saturday morning at 5 o'clock, it's not going to be ready when the doors open at 10 o'clock Monday morning because we haven't been in yet. So we need 24 business hours just to put the order together and have it ready for pickup. So an order placed on Monday should be ready for Tuesday sometime before noon. Um, just use that as an example. Um, let's see here. I think
Yeah, you have it.
might be, there we go. Okay. And I'm sorry, scout cards. I'm going to be calling them camp cards probably for the rest of my life. Scout cards can be picked up at Member Care Center, obviously located at 1500 Bodwell Road, Manchester, New Hampshire. If anybody is not familiar with where the where the office is, it's directly behind and to the right of Bodwell Food Mart. And it's only a couple of seconds down Bodwell Road from Camp Carpenter. So pretty centrally located, pretty easy to get to, especially if you're going to Camp Carpenter for anything. Now, just like John had mentioned with the maple syrup, if for some reason you or your unit cannot get down to the Manchester office, please reach out. We might be able to work something out. We can get things to local roundtables. We can set up some local meeting spots depending on where we have staff in your area. But the way to do that is for scout cards is to reach out to me directly. My contact information, obviously, you received the email for this, but it'll also be on the slides here as well. But it's michael.farr@scouting.org. Much like last year, we started, and much of our other fundraisers, we started where you need to pay for the scout cards when you pick them up. This again is not new from last year. It's the same thing we did, and this is at when we're dealing with a low percentage at the council. We cannot afford a loss of any kind, or else we end up in the red for the campaign. It does not, at the amount that we're keeping at the council, it does not take a lot for us to end up in the red. So we need to be very careful. So payment is due on delivery. Again, we do cash check preferred, and then we do the 3% processing if you decide to use by debit or credit card. But those payments can be processed right at member care. And same as last year, and just like any other fundraiser that's out there right now, Scout cards are non-refundable once purchased. So it's going to be important that your unit does take serious consideration into the amount that they order prior to placing the order. The caveat to that is that we are limited to one complete order this year. We've ordered 12,000 Scout cards. It is a tiny bit more than what we ordered last year, but not by much. But we do not have the option to reorder. So once those 12,000 cards are gone and spoken for, that will be it for the year. And then the best for last. So John talked about speculative orders and assuming risk for product, and I talked about having to prepay for your camp cards in advance and prepaying for the maple syrup in advance. We have an opportunity again this year at the Fox Run Mall to run a kiosk for either maple syrup or scout cards. The benefit to this is there's two different options that we can do if your unit already has scout card inventory and wants to come out and utilize the kiosk, they can do that. Or if you want to sell camp cards or maple syrup without having to assume risk at the unit, we will, as long as the quantities are available, we will provide the inventory. We will help run the kiosk with you. And then your unit would leave with whatever they've earned, and then we turn in the funds that would have been needed to pay for the product that you just sold. So it's a great opportunity for units that may not be cash heavy in their bank accounts and they can't afford to prepay for a bunch of camp cards. It's a great way to get started and build that cash to reinvest into the fundraising. Maple syrup on the cart. It's already past the first, but we're going to run this through April 6th. we have our Super Klondike this weekend, so I don't believe we'll be able to staff the kiosk this weekend, but we should be able to staff it for Saturday and Sunday next weekend, not Friday because somebody said something about it being Valentine's Day, and I guess I want to stay married. Um, and then camp cards are going to go until supplies last. I think that's just about everything I have. Before we get into Q&A, I want to just again thank John for everything he's done. He started his conversation by saying he's just a volunteer. Nobody is ever just a volunteer. He works very hard for the council, and I want to say thank you and thank everybody for being on the call. We're going to keep the recording going, and we're just going to answer anybody's questions at this point. So please feel free.
So Andy H had a question. He goes, the online order, though, is paid by the customer at placement and is placed to our pack. That is correct. So when your customer uses the council online store, your customer is going to be paying for that product at that point in time. And then what's going to happen is I will be providing you with a report, an online sale report, and I'm going to show you a sample of that, but I just need to make sure I'm not sharing any sensitive data. So I just need to take a quick look at that, and I'll show you an actual report of what you're going to see. And then I'll also show you an invoice in terms of we break out your take order sales from your online order sales. And so you're going to see how that is all taken care of as well. And I'll show you a sample of that if you just give me a couple of minutes. I didn't see any other questions in there, Michael.
Folks, if you have a question, feel free to unmute your mic and jump in. We're a fairly small group here, so um, we don't want to have any questions go unanswered. That's for sure.
How do you sign up for the kiosk if you're interested?
That's a
Uh,
great question. So, John, if you want to display that, or if you want to just throw my email address into the chat, but you're going to reach out to me at michael.farr@scouting.org. And John has just put that into the chat as well, so you could easily click on it. That's going to be set up as a first come, first serve. So I'll be keeping a calendar going here on my end. If the kiosk is available, you're welcome to take advantage of it. I'm happy to report that 5 out of the 7 districts took advantage of a kiosk shift for either pancake and maple syrup or uh, uh, scout cards last year, and we had some units do surprisingly well, and they're already looking for shifts this year, so they found it very, very worthwhile. Anybody that's familiar with the Fox Run Mall, it is not a very busy mall. It is not a large. It's not like a Simon Mall or anything like that. It's a very much a community mall. They allow dogs in the mall, all over the mall, and that has become a huge draw for people that want to support local. So the Girl Scouts do very well in there with their cookies. We do very well in there with our popcorn. So anything we bring in there as a fundraiser has done very, very well because these people are local people that want to support local. So it's
um,
pretty cool.
Michael,
Thank you.
quick question from Andy. If somebody was to sign up for the kiosk, can they sell both camp cards as well as maple syrup?
So it is possible. We try to run one or the other to minimize confusion, but what we would do is we would set up the display to mainly focus on maple syrup. And then if you wanted to have camp cards as an option, we could definitely track that fairly easily. We would just have Again, if you were talking to people and they were like, "Oh, I don't want to do maple syrup, I apologize," you could say, "Well, we are offering scout cards, which also help our scouts get to camp and other things." So we can definitely make something like that work. We try to do one message or the other at the kiosk for these fundraisers. Um, so if you decide to do a scout card kiosk, we have nice blow up pictures of them that go all around the kiosk, and it's a really nice look. But we can definitely make a joint venture work. It's not that difficult.
I'm going to show the online report that um, a unit would receive. So in this particular case, this particular pack here, this column here, even though I have it blacked out, this would be the name of your customer. So column B is the name of your customer, your customer's email address. So you'll have that. You'll also get what their phone number is. So for some reason, if you don't recognize Aunt Mary's phone number because she changed it, because she's on witness protection program or something, you just discovered where she's at. This for column F, even though I blacked it out, this is the scout's first name because it's very important that whoever you're going to want that, make sure that they put the scout's name as to who they're buying this product for. So column F and column G, these two columns here are for the scout's name. Unit type, make sure they know your unit, and then your unit number. That's also important. It's not fun for me to have to track down who an order is for and what unit and make sure that it gets to the right one. So please make sure that they do put the scout's first name, last name, and whether they're a pack or a troop. In terms of a bill, what does a bill look like? This is kind of what the bill will look like I was mentioning earlier. So the first line that you see here is going to be your take order. And then you see here, these are your online orders. And then what happens here, you can see like the combined sale is $718. So when you look at this, you say, well, wait a minute, you owe DWC 375, and I'm going to say, no, you don't. You don't owe us $375 because you had online sales, and we actually have all that cash. So we took in $416. So we actually owe you money. So whatever you took in terms of take order, you get to keep that money. And then what would happen is we would then turn around and owe you $40.35 is what happens. Now that money would then go put into your unit account. If you don't want it in the unit account, you got to let us know, and I'll have to put a check request in order to have a check cut for you. But this is what an invoice would look like, where you have both take order as well as online sales, and how you then get credit for that. Hopefully that wasn't too bad.
No, I would say that was I would say that was helpful.
All right.
What else do we have for questions, folks? This is your time. Either that or we were just so good we left everything. Nobody had any questions.
I'm okay with that.
I had a completely unrelated question. I heard you guys in the fall talk about the Meat Sticks fundraiser, but then I never saw anything about it. I heard you mention it again. Is that something that's still available, or is there? I don't want to bring this meeting down with it, but if there's a place online I can go to find it,
No,
like
that
I'd like to read up
listen,
on it.
we're here for all fundraising. I mean, we want the unit to work with whatever they're comfortable with. Meat Sticks is definitely available. It's a very, very easy, it's a unit driven fundraiser. In other words, the information, John, when he brought us to the New Hampshire website, the council website, we went under resources. And then we went under, yes, fundraising for scouts and units, and you'll see the meat sticks right here. And there's all kinds of contact information where you reach out directly to Country Meats. Um,
Cool. All
and
right. Yeah, I can read up in there. That's awesome. Cool.
Yep. So it's there, and like I said, that's definitely a 100% unit driven fundraiser. We set it up with Country Meat so that you guys would get the national pricing and everything like that. You pay Country Meat, they ship the product to you, and you keep everything that you above and beyond what you paid for the materials. So it's a phenomenal fundraiser for the units. It's a little bit of a lower price point, so it does take a little bit more selling to get to where you'd get with like I did it again, scout cards or maple syrup, but it's another great fundraising opportunity.
You have a question. Do we know if Shaw's is one of the coupons on the cards this year?
It absolutely is. It's going to be a $5 off 50. John had also mentioned, kind of like setting up a site sale with if you're going to do some speculative with maple syrup. I highly encourage a unit if they're going to be taking per in the Scout Card fundraiser is go to these local places that are actually on the card and find out if you can set up a table in front of them. They're already offering a benefit they're probably not going to say no to you, bringing a couple of kids out in full uniform. It makes them look good. It makes us look good. And if you stand out in front of a Sub-Zero shop doing a buy one, get one, and I'm pretty sure you're probably going to sell a few cards. Um, we had a couple of units that literally sold over 100 cards on a Friday night in front of a margaritas. So it's really, really, it's really, really a good thing to do.
All right. Great. That's all. There's no other questions in the chat, Michael. So
Okay. Well, as long as people understand that we're here, you can reach out to either one of us, for any kind of information you want on these two fundraisers and myself for anything outside of these two fundraisers. I'm happy to help. So we just want to help units get as much as we can into their units so that the scouts can enjoy as many activities as possible. So if there are no other questions, we'll thank everybody for joining us tonight. And again, thanks to John for being here and helping out.
oh, you're welcome. Thank you. And you can end recording now.
I will end the recording now.